y'all. This is Lulu, Crafting Anonymous, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas tree, kind of a primitive style Christmas tree using corn husks. Now I did this the other day using just natural corn husk, and I'll show you a picture at the end of both. But what I did was I took the corn husk, and you have to soak them to get them pliable. And so I went ahead and soaked them in green food dye until I got the color I wanted. And so this is how we're doing it. So I'll explain all along. So what I first did is I have this little cone. You get two of them for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. And so I put Elmer's glue, or you can Mod Podge over it and let it dry before I painted it, because I heard that paint sticks better to plastic or glass if you put down Mod Podge or Elmer's glue first. So now I painted it green just so that the orange doesn't show through in case there's some gaps in when I start applying the corn husks. So I'm just drying it off. And what I did last night, when the corn husks were still wet, I tore them into strips the sizes I wanted each layer to be. And so then I folded them so you get that ribbon effect, as you can see in the pile over there. And I folded them and just let them dry overnight. And so this morning when I came out, I'd say about 90% of them were dry. A few of them were still a little damp, but that's okay. You can still glue them. So I start sorting the piles into the larger leaves first. And the reason I do that is because I'm using the wider leaves at the bottom of the corn husk at the bottom, and then I graduated them to smaller sizes as I work my way up. Now I just stick a little bit of glue on the back. They're folded over, so I glue the two pieces together, and then I glue those onto the base. So you could probably use anything. You could probably use styrofoam and just pin them in. That might work too. Just look for something that's shaped like a tree. I think this works pretty good, and it's a pretty good price. So I had a bag of corn husks, and I am not even doing 2 trees. I still probably have enough to do like 4 more trees. It's amazing how many you can get. So what I'm doing is then I'm just trying to pick the wider ones for the bottom, and I'm just layering them so that you don't see a gap. But if you do find a gap where you see some of the green through it, if you don't mind it, leave it. If it bothers you like it bothered me, I just went ahead and filled them in, underneath. Just cut it a little shorter and just stuck a little ribbon underneath. And so I just do this all the way around and just work my way up. It's just very easy. Now I have my glue tool at the low setting. You don't have to have it super hot. I love that my glue tool has 2 settings. So I'm able to touch it. Sometimes it does go a little hot, but I'll use a tongue depressor popsicle stick to apply it, to hold it down as I'm working my way up, as my fingers get a little tired of being exposed to all that heat. But it's a really fast project. You can, it's just, that's all I can say. It's fast. It's repetitious. You just work your way around it. It's something the kids could do with you, except for the hot glue. What you could do is you could do the tree and then have them help you decorate it. Otherwise it could just be a little bit of a mess. So as you can see, I told you I did one in natural color of corn husks. I did this one green. You could spray paint it afterwards if you wanted to, or spray a little snow on it. They also have you can also, if you wanted to get like a more pointy look, where I wanted the ribbony look, but if you want just to use a flat pointy look, you can just cut the corn husk in half and use the tip of it, the other end of it. So one end's flat and the other end's pointy. So you can just cut and use all the pointy ones. I think it would take a little bit more time to do that because they're not as full, and you might have to work hard at it to get it to give it a little depth. So it didn't appeal to me, but maybe there's something that you could figure out how to bend it so that it has a little shape to it. But I think this ribbon effect really looks good. So I'm sticking to that one. Now I'm thinking of making a, I did make an angel the other day. So there's just a lot of things that you can make with it. I'll post that angel picture too for you at the end. So you can make an angel, you can make a star, um, you can make a turkey. Oh, that might be a good idea. Maybe I'll make a turkey next. It's just fun. Endless possibilities, that's all I can say. So, so you just work your way around to the top, and then think about while you're doing it how you want to decorate it. And what do you want to use for a tree topper? Because you could use stars. I'm putting an angel on this one, and I didn't realize what I was going to do until I got to the end and was looking for something to put on top of it, and it ended up being really cute. So I collected acorns this year out of the yard. We had an abundance of acorns, and you know the caps of the acorns fall off after the acorns falls. Usually after when the leaves start falling off the trees, that's when you'll get the caps. So they're usually separate. Rarely you'll find an acorn with a cap on it. So what I did was I went in, and you'll see this, but I'm giving you the heads up while we're watching me paste these things on there and just working my way up. And you can see I'm just gradually going up and finding smaller sizes as I work my way up. But I was trying to figure out what I do with those caps. So I'm going to end up, you'll see I'm going to use those as decorations. So that's going to be really cute. Just keeping it very natural, primitive. Also, you might want to figure out what you're going to sit it on top of. So on one I used a block of wood, and another one I used a wooden coaster or bottle holder. So you'll see that also. And so there's a lot of prep involved, figuring out how you want to decorate, what you want to do. But it's a very simple once you're going to construct it. There's a lot of prep where you have to dye it or not dye it, but you still have to soak it. And once they're soaked, then you rip your strips and then make your, so that you can clamp them together. As you can see, I use clothespins to clip them together. You could probably use a strong paper clip too, a big paper clip. But that's when they were wet, I just folded them over, tore them to the strip size that I wanted, and then I folded them so that they could dry like a ribbon. So when I take them off, you could see there's a nice little bow at the, ribbon bow at the bottom. So it's rounded and it gives really nice definition, depth for the tree. So when you're doing this, you also want to, think, because you're going to have to cap it off at the top, how you're going to finish it. So I put a piece of corn husk on the top of it, and just to kind of have that covering the tip top, and then I'm still gradually working my way to the top with smaller sizes. And if when you're turning it around, if you see a blank space, you just make a little hoop and just stick it up inside where you're seeing that void. It's really a personal choice of how you want these to look. So all you do is, now I'm making them smaller, and as you're making them smaller, you're going to have to cut some of that, make it a shorter ribbon. So you're just cutting it, and I'm trying to give it a little bit of a point so that when it gets up to the top, it's kind of pointy like the tip of a tree. So you just, use your imagination and play with it, and, see how you want to do that. You could put some lights on it. You can put berries. The other tree I put berries. And it's just spinning the thing around. I love having that little turntable, Lazy Susan, on my workstation because, I can just spin it around as I'm working on it, and it's really nice. So, and as you can see, my pile of corn husks is smaller, and so I guesstimated it quite well of how much I needed. What you're seeing is just all of it sticking to my glue tool in my hand. Little stringy strings of glue all over the place, which, it's easy to clean those up. So, this is just turning out beautiful. I'm glad I decided to dye it green. You could dye it any color. Why not, right? You could, it's just pink. Do a Barbie corn husk tree. Pink, why not? Sure, I'd do a pink tree. I remember when I was younger, they had those silver trees. I was born in the 50s, so they had those fake, that's when fake trees started coming out, and they were silver in the late 50s, early 60s. They had those metal, silver, aluminum trees. There we go. So that's looking good. Look at that. Isn't it cute? So I got to decide what I'm going to put on top, and I'm filling in some of the the spaces. So when I go shopping, the Dollar General has like a lot of cute ornaments, and they're only $1 as opposed to, you might go to another store and it'd be like $1.25. But yeah, so I bought a lot of ornaments and things at the Dollar General, and so I have some angels and other things that you could use year round, and I just have my little arsenal of crafts, of items. So I thought to myself, what can I use? So I'm gonna find myself a really cute ornament, angel ornament over on my shelves in a second and show you. But right now I'm just taking all the caps out and just placing them. Some of the caps are 2 together and some are 3, and so it's like a nice variety. I was thinking of putting a little bit of glitter on the tip top of it, but then it kind of takes away from that whole rustic, primitive look that I'm going for. So I thought just leave it the way it is. Just leave them brown. Yeah, I could even put a little something to make it like a bell, like something hanging out of it like a bell. But I think just leaving it like that is fine. It's kind of like when you think of what did they do back in the pioneer days, when they were creating decorations for their house, and they used whatever they could forage in their yards or in the woods. And so I can see these being used back in the day, corn husks and the acorns or acorn caps. And so yeah, so why not? That's what I'm going for here. And I think I'm achieving that look. I'm very pleased with it. Now some of the husks look a little brown because they were, and so when I threw them in the dye, I thought it doesn't look bad to have them brown. I wanted it as natural as can be. So here's the angel. It's a ceramic angel that I got at the Dollar General for $1, and it's really, really cute. So I'm using the glue, hot glue, and some stick fast because I want to make sure it stays in case somebody went to pull the top of it, and sometimes the hot glue doesn't work as well. So there we go. Isn't that beautiful? Here's so now another picture of the one I did prior. Please subscribe, like this video also, and I hope to see you again in the future when I post some other quick handy dandy crafting videos. And I appreciate you watching. So you have a wonderful day. This is Lulu, Crafting Anonymous.